Welcome to What Dwells Beneath, a true crime and paranormal podcast where we peel back the skin of the world to see what's lurking underneath. I'm your host, Perzival, and this show is brought to life by the twisted genius of our producer, Neku. Today, we're stepping into something dark, something fresh, a mystery that's cold as the ice it's buried in, yet it's burning up the shadows in 2025. Get ready, because unraveling a nightmare that won't go away. Picture this. It's February 2025, Minneapolis. The air bites like needles, and the snow dusts the streets in a hush. A college kid, let's call him Ethan, staggers out of a dive bar, his breath fogging in the glow of a flickering neon sign. He's laughing, maybe a little too loud. As he fumbles with his phone, he shoots a quick text to his buddy, heading home, catch you tomorrow. His boots crunching the snow, kicking up clouds that vanish into the night. Then, nothing. Ethan's gone. The city swallows him whole, like he never existed. 6 weeks have now passed. The snow melts in slush, and the Mississippi River chums, restless. That's when they find him. Ethan's body drifts up, snagged by a current, pale and bloated, tangled in the reeds. The cops call it a tragedy. Another drunk kid who stumbled into the water. But then someone notices it. A faint smiley face, scratched in faded yellow spray paint on a rusted bridge pylon nearby. It's just sitting there, grinning through the grime, like it's mocking the whole damn scene. An accident, or something far, far darker, creeping through the cracks of this frozen town. There, that place. That's where we're going today. Beneath the surface of the ordinary, we're digging into the Smiley Face Killers. A string of deaths that stretch across America like a bad dream you can't shake. Young guys, full of life, vanishing after a night out, only to wash up later in rivers and lakes. And that smiley face, it keeps showing up. A twisted little hello from something or someone watching from the edges. Are these just sad, lonely drownings? Or is there a killer, maybe killers, carving a taunted mark across the map? By the end of this hour, you'll be wondering what's really out there, waiting in the wet and the cold. So, turn down the lights, put your headphones on, and get settled in, dear listeners. This is What Dwells Beneath, and the Smiley Face Killers are calling us down the water's edge. Let's see what's waiting. We've teased the Smiley Face Killers, those eerie deaths tied to water and a grinning mark. But where did this all start? Let's step back to 1997, to a cold night in New York City, where the first thread of this nightmare unraveled. It began with a kid named Patrick McNeil. And trust me, his story will stick to your bones. Patrick was 21, a Fordham University student with an easy smile and a solid build. Your classic college guy. February 17th, 1997, he's out with his friends at a bar called the Dapper Dog in Manhattan. It's late, the kind of night where the city hums with neons and shadows. He has a few drinks, laughs it up, then heads for the door around 11 p.m. His buddies see him step outside, coat pulled tight against the chill. That's it. That's the last time anyone sees Patrick McNeil alive. Days turn into weeks. His family's frantic, plastering flyers across the city. Then on April 7th, a boat crew spots something in the East River, near Brooklyn, miles from where Patrick vanished. It's him. His body's floating, face down, caught in the current. The cops fish him out, and what they find doesn't add up. There are burns on his skin, faint marks like something held him down. Signs of restraint, too. Bruises that hint at a struggle, yet the official word comes fast. It's a drowning, an accident. Case closed. But here's the thing. Patrick didn't just slip into that river. Something pulled him there. That's where two retired NYPD detectives step in, Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte. These guys weren't rookies. They'd seen the worst the city could cough up. Patrick's case gnawed at them, though. They couldn't shake it. Years later, they start digging, and what they uncover isn't just one tragedy. It's a pattern. Young men, college-age, athletic, disappearing after a night out. Always near water, rivers, lakes, canals, and then the bodies show up, sometimes weeks later, floating like ghosts nobody saw sink. But here's the kicker. Near a lot of these scenes, they spotted a smiley face, spray painted on a tree, a wall, a bridge, just sitting there, staring back. Gannon and Duarte didn't stop at Patrick. They traced this thing across the country. By 2017, they tied 45 cases together, stretching over 11 states, New York, Wisconsin, Minnesota, all the way to Ohio and beyond. College towns mostly, places where kids let loose on the weekends. The victims? Guys like Patrick. Fit, popular, out for a good time. They drink, stumble off into the night, and then vanish. Then, water would give them back, cold and silent. And the smiley face kept popping up, like a shadow that wouldn't leave. At this point, Gannon's a bulldog. He's still at it in 2025. He says the number's way higher now. Over 600 cases might fit this mold, he claims. 600 lives snuffed out, tied to rivers and lakes, with that creepy little grin lurking nearby. Think about it. 600 stories that end the same way. Wet, alone, and unexplained. The cops, they shrug it off. Drunk kids fall into the water all the time, they say. But Gannon and Duarte, they say something else. They even see something else. A signature. A mark left by someone or something that knows we're watching. Let's paint one more picture. Imagine a guy, say, La Crosse, Wisconsin, 2004. He's 23, buzzing from a bar, walking home along the Mississippi. The night's foggy, the river's black as tar. He doesn't make it home. 3 weeks later, he's found downstream, jacket still zipped, shoes on tight, and on a concrete wall by the bank, a fresh smiley face. Red paint dripping like it's still wet. Accident? Maybe. But when you stack it next to Patrick, next to dozens, even hundreds of others, it starts to feel wrong. That's the origin, listeners. It kicks off with Patrick McNeil in 97, but it doesn't stop there. Gannon and Duarte crack open a box nobody wanted to touch. A trail of wet graves and grinning faces that had been growing for almost 30 years. Was this all just bad luck piling up? Or is there a signature here, etched in spray paint in silence? We're not done yet. Stick with me because what dwells beneath this story, it's starting to show its teeth. So we've got bones for this thing. Patrick McNeil. Those detectives, that first smiley face painted on the wall in 97. But now it's time to dig into the meat. The messy stuff that keeps the Smiley Face Killers alive in the dark. This isn't a clean-cut story, listeners. There's evidence here. Sharp little hooks that snag you, pull you down into the cold. We're tearing into the details, the creepy bits that don't sit right. Something's just not adding up. First off, the victims. They're a type. White, male, usually in their 20s. The guys everyone gravitates to. Popular, strong, always up for a night out. They're at a bar, tossing back drinks, surrounded by friends. But then with the blink of an eye, they're gone. Not wandering off, not slipping away, they just vanish. Right there in the thick of it. 1 second they're laughing, the next, it's like the air swallowed them whole. Weeks later, the water spits them out. Take Dakota James, Pittsburgh, 2017. He's 23, out on January 25th, joking with his crew. Then he's missing. 40 days go by. 40. And they pull him out of the Ohio River. Here's the chill. He's fresh. Barely rotted, like he'd only been there a day or two. 40 days gone, and he's still whole. What keeps a body like that? Now the smiley faces. These aren't happy little sketches. They're scratched or sprayed near the bodies, on bridges, trees, walls, red ones, black ones, and sometimes with horns, or a bent grin. Kevin Gannon, that detective from before, calls it a taunt, a sick little "come find me" from someone out there. Boston, 2009. A guy turns up by the Charles River, and a faded yellow smiley watches from a piling. Then there's Michigan, 2012. Another body, another face. This one with a jagged teeth in blue. The skeptics shrug, saying it's just graffiti. They say smiley faces are all over. Maybe so. But why do they keep hovering here, tied to these deaths like a stain that won't fade? Now here is another detail. There's drugs. Some of these guys had GHB in them, or Rufalin. It knocks you out flat, leaves you limp. Ugly stuff. Thing is, it fades fast in water. It's very tough to spot after a few days, let alone weeks. Chris Jenkins, Minneapolis, 2002, he had traces. A few others Gannon tracked did too. Is this a random chance? Maybe they overdid it at the bar. Or maybe it's a tool. Slipped into a beer, turning a good time into a blackout. Picture it. You're sipping, grinning, and then the world tilts. Next thing, you're under. But the real chill will hit when you know about the anomalies. The stuff that makes your hair stand up. Todd Gieb, 2005, Michigan. He's 22. Once again, out drinking. Then he's vanished. He's gone. 3 weeks later, they find him in a lake. Upright, standing in shallow water. Head above the surface like he's waiting for someone. 3 weeks and he's just there. No bloat, no drift. Just planted. Then there's Chris Jenkins again. Same year as the drug find. Halloween night, he vanishes from a bar. 4 months later, he is in the Mississippi River, floating face up, arms crossed tight over his chest, not tangled, not random, posed, like a doll set out to dry. Drowning victims do not do that. They sink, they drift, they rot. These guys, they wait. These cases are piling up. Dozens, maybe hundreds, with details that will twist your stomach. Victims who don't rot when they should. Smiley faces grinning from the sidelines. Drugs hinting at something dirty. Bodies left in the ways that scream, "Look at me." Gannon says it's a pattern, a killer's hand at work. The cops see drunks and a bad luck. But stack these things up. Dakota, Todd, Chris, other victims, it's hard to swallow that. These aren't typical drownings. They're too quiet, they are too strange, and they are too deliberate. Imagine a riverbank at dusk, mist cutting over the water. A body bobs up, eyes wide, staring at nothing. And on the shore, that smiley face, fresh paint, still wet, daring you to look closer. Is it just a chance? Or is there something out there marking its work, waiting for the next one? The water is getting colder, and the shadows are stretching. Bodies that don't rot, smiley faces leering, drugs in weird poses that don't add up. It's heavy, and it's got that chill that sticks to you. But not everyone's buying it. There's another side to the Smiley Face Killers, a pushback that says we're seeing ghosts where there's just mud. Let's give the skeptics their turn. Lay out what they're shouting from the dry side of the river. They've got points, solid ones, but here's the thing. Is it that simple, or are we missing something lurking just out of sight? Starting with the big guns, the FBI, back in 2008, they took a hard look at this theory. On Gannon's files, the cases, the whole wet mess. Their call? No dice. They said there's no evidence tying these deaths together, nothing solid enough to call it a killer or a conspiracy. Local cops back that up, town after town. To them, it's not mysterious, it's just sad. Drunk kids falling to the rivers, tripping over their own feet after too many shots. Happens all the time, they say. A guy stumbles out of a bar, the water's right there, and that's it. Lights out. No shadowy figure, no spray paint needed, just gravity and bad choices. Then you've got the experts weighing in. Folks who spent years picking apart how killers tick. Take Pat Brown. She's a profiler, knows her stuff. She says serial killers don't drown people. It's too rare, too sloppy, not their game. Most of them want control. They want knives, ropes, something they can feel. Drowning? That's leaving it to chance, letting the water do the dirty work. It's not personal enough, not clean enough, And those smiley faces? She's not impressed. They're everywhere, she argues. On walls, notebooks, bathroom stalls. Common as dirt. Seeing them near a body doesn't mean a thing. It's just noise, not a signature. To her, Ganon's chasing shadows, stringing together accidents with a story that doesn't hold water. Let's zoom in on one spot. La Crosse, Wisconsin. This place is a hot spot. 8 deaths between 1997 and 2004, all young guys, all pulled from the Mississippi River. Sounds familiar, right? But here's where it shifts. No smiley faces. Not one. No graffiti taunting them from the banks, no creepy marks to point the finger at. The cops there have a routine. They patrol the river every weekend, fishing out drunks who'd get too close to the edge. To them, these cases are open and shut. Kids party hard, the river's right there, and some just don't make it home. 8 times in 7 years isn't a pattern. It's a statistic. They've got no bodies standing upright, no GHB traces, just booze and bad luck. They tell everyone it's just an accident, stamped and filed away. So, what's the picture here? The FBI says there's no thread connecting these dots. Hundreds of drownings, sure, but no killer tying them up. Pat Brown calls it a stretch. Serial killers don't play this way, and the smiley faces are just trash blowing in the wind. La Crosse shrugs it off. 8 dead, no mystery, just a river doing what rivers do. It's a tidy story, listeners. A bunch of tragedies, yeah, but not some grand, dark scheme. Young guys drink, they fall, they drown. End of tale. No need for detectives or spray paint or wild theories about something stalking the night. But here's where it nags at me. And maybe at you too. Is it really that easy? Hundreds of guys, same type, same ending. Water, every time. Sure, drunks fall in the river, but so many? What about Dakota? Fresh after 40 days. Todd, standing like a scarecrow in a lake. Chris, posed with his arms across like a vampire, held tight. The skeptics wave it away. Coincidence, they say, or bad coroners? Or hey, maybe the water is just playing a trick on us. The smiley faces, random scribbles, nothing more. GHB, those are just party leftovers. Not a plot. It's a clean sweep. Except it doesn't feel clean, does it? There's a ripple under all this, an itch you can't scratch. Stand by that river in La Crosse at night. The water's black, the air's thick, and those 8 deaths hang over it like a fog. No graffiti, sure, but does that erase the rest? Pat Brown might be right. Killers don't drown for fun. The FBI might have a point. No hard proof links at all. But when you stack all those anomalies against the neat little box, it starts to crack. Is it just drunk kids and dumb luck over and over and over again? Or are we missing something? Something that doesn't care if we see its face. The skeptics have their say, and it's strong, I'll give you that. But we're not done yet. The water's still moving, and what dwells beneath isn't ready to let go. The skeptics just laid it all out. It's a tight little package, tied up with logic and a shrug. But let's shake that loose, listeners, because this story doesn't sleep. It's not some dusty case to file from decades back. It's alive, it's right now, it's 2025. Fast forward with me to February 8th, just a month ago. Once again, we're in Minneapolis, and something's stirring in the shadows. This isn't over, it's happening right now. And it's got that eerie hum that makes you double check the locks. Meet Ethan Carter, 22, a junior at the University of Minnesota. He's got that easy charm, the kind of guy who pulls a crowd at a party. February 8th, he's on a bar crawl with his buddies. I've been there, hopping from one dive to the next. The snow's falling thick, blanketing the streets and the Mississippi River's just a block away. Frozen at the edges but moving underneath. Ethan's tossing back beers, laughing loud, the night's buzzing. Around 1 a.m., he steps outside for a smoke, alone, just for a minute. That's it. No one sees him leave. No one hears a thing. Ethan Carter vanishes, swallowed by the cold. 6 weeks crawl by. The search turns up nothing. No coat, no phone, no tracks, and the snow. Then March 10th, a few days ago, they find him. A jogger spots something in the Mississippi. near a bridge downstream. It's Ethan. He's tangled in the reeds. His jacket's still zipped up tight. No cuts, no bruises, no sign he fought. The water's given him back, just like the others. Quiet, clean, too perfect. And there, on a rusted bridge pylon, it's waiting. They find a smiley face, scratched and yellow paint, grinning through the frost. No witnesses, no struggle, just Ethan, the river, and that mark. Sound familiar? And now here's where it twists. After only a few days, the cops are already calling it an accident. Another drunk kid who slipped in. But the whispers are starting, and they're not staying quiet. Some say this isn't human. Not a guy with a can of paint or a gang with a grudge. Something else. Many claim it might be a water spirit. Maybe something old, tied to the rivers, pulling souls down for kicks. Others mutter about a cult, a secret circle marking their work with those faces. Some ritual we can't track. When you check social media this week, all these posts are lighting up, calling it the Smiley entity. People will say it's been here forever, taunting us from the shadows, picking off the bright ones who get a little too close to the edge. Think about it. Ethan's not the first. Patrick, Dakota, Todd, Chris, all these names we dragged up, same deal. Young, alive 1 minute, gone the next. Water, handing them back with a smirk. But this is 2025, and it's fresh. March 10th fresh. 2 days ago. That smiley face was staring down at Ethan's body, and it's not fading away into some old report. Social media users are posting pictures, blurry shots of that pylon, the paint still sharp against the rust. One guy swears he saw a glow at night, like it was alive. Another says he heard a laugh by the river, low and wet, right where Ethan washed up. Paranoid? Maybe. But it's got a shiver, doesn't it? What do you think? Bad luck or something watching from the water? Ethan's case fits the mold. It's too close, too clean, too much like the rest. The skeptics would say he tripped, end of story. But that smiley face, it's there. Same as always, like it was waiting for us to blink. And the paranormal angle? To me, that's just campfire talk. If it's a spirit, what does it want? Now, there's an angle that I personally believe. A cult, hailing from the dark web. Are these the ones who are pulling the strings? Or maybe it's something worse. Something we can't name. Something that's been here since 1997, maybe longer. Grinning every time the river takes another. However, the fact is, Ethan's gone. But the smiley face isn't. It's still there, scratched into that pylon, daring you to take a closer look. No one saw him go in, no one heard a splash, just a kid snuffed out, but handed back with a mark. This isn't some dusty what if from the past. It's now, it's real, and it's cold as hell. The Smiley Face Killers, or whatever this is, they're not done. They're out there, and they're watching. Ethan Carter's still fresh in our heads and our hearts. But as of March 10th, that smiley face is still glaring from the bridge. The skeptics are saying it's an accident, but the weirdness keeps piling up. Bodies, they are too perfect. Marks, too consistent. And now we're at the edge, where the faucet runs dry and the shadows take over. This is the part where we toss out the rulebook and chase the wild stuff. Theories, speculations, the kind of ideas that crawl under your skin and stay there. No proof, just patterns. So what's your theory? Let's crack this open and see what spills out. First up, Gannon's gang. That detective we've been circling back to. Kevin Gannon, he's got a vision. He sees a group organized, spread out like a web across cities. Cells in Minneapolis, Pittsburgh, Boston, everywhere the rivers run. They're not random punks either. This is structured, tight with a purpose. They target the perfect guy. Young, fit, the ones who've got it all. Envy's the fuel, Gannon says. These killers, these are the outcasts. The ones who never got invited to the party, and now they're settling the scores. It's ritualistic, drowning them, painting those smiley faces like trophies. A game they play, city to city, leaving us to pick up the pieces. Imagine a network of quiet haters watching from the bar stools, waiting for their shot. Then there's the paranormal angle. And yeah, it's out there. But it fits the chill. What if it's not human at all? Picture a vengeful entity, something tied to the rivers, old as the dirt they cut through. A water spirit, maybe, pissed off and hungry, luring guys to the edge. It doesn't need a knife or a gun, just a whisper, a tug, and they're under. Those smiley faces, it's Mark. Scratch out to mess with us, a little I was here, from something we can't touch. Or flip it, maybe it's the cult I mentioned. Flesh and blood people, but twisted, using the dark web to get together and maybe perform some sort of ritual. Possibly initiation into their gang. Or they could be sacrificing to something ancient. Something that lives in the current, feeding its souls for power or favor. Ethan, Dakota, Todd, all offerings. And that grin, it's their signature. A nod to whatever's listening below. However, I personally believe it's an initiation of some kind. Pick out the one that you feel must go. The one that you wish you could be. Or how about this? One lone killer, no gang, no ghost, no cult. Just a single psycho, meticulous and patient, laughing at all of us. This guy's been at it for a decade, since 1997, maybe before. Well, many state it could be a guy. But what is the one thing that will get a single man to leave a group of friends? But diving back into it, they are moving town to town, river to river. He or she is smart, quiet, blends in like a shadow at the bar, picks their target carefully. Guys full of life, guys they can't stand, and takes them out clean. Slips something in their drink and walks them to the water, watches them sink. The smiley face are their tag, their practical joke, sprayed on while we're still scratching our heads. One mind, one pair of hands, turning the country into their playground. They're out there now, maybe sipping a beer, planning the next one. These ideas, they're wild, sure, but they stick because the pieces don't lie flat. Gannon's gang fits the pattern. There's too many deaths, too spread out for one person. A group could pull it off, passing down the torch. The ritual angle tracks with those faces. Why else leave a mark every time? But the paranormal take, it does have teeth. Body standing upright, fresh after weeks. That feeling of something watching. It's not normal. A spirit or a cult could play by the rules we don't get. Rules that leave coroners stumped. Or the lone killer. Simple, brutal, elegant. One man or woman could dodge us for 30 years, giggling while we argue over graffiti. Step into the dark with me. You're by the Mississippi at midnight, snow dusting the banks. The water's still, but you feel it. A pool, a hum, something alive. Is it a gang, plotting in some basement, or over the internet, picking their next target? A thing in the river, older than cities dragging kids down for a spite? Or one twisted soul, a coat pulled tight, spraying that smiley face while the body floats away? No proof pins it down. Just these threads weaving through the decades, tying Ethan to Patrick to who knows how many others. It's a puzzle with no edges, and every guess feels half right. Look at the map. Rivers crisscrossing the states. Smiley faces dotting the banks. Hundreds of guys gone all the same way. Gannon's got his cells. The ghost hunters have their spirits. And the lone wolf crowd have their psycho. Me, you know where I stand. Maybe it's all of them. Or none. But the patterns, they're there. Taunting us, daring us to pick. What's your call, dear listeners? A gang with a grudge? A river that hates, or one sick mind on the move. This thing is alive, and it's not telling. Not yet. We've been down a twisted road in this episode. From Patrick McNeil in 1997, disappearing into that cold night, to Ethan Carter just a few days ago, washing up in the Mississippi with a smiley face grinning nearby. The Smiley Face Killers leave us with questions, accidents, murder, or something beyond. We've got bodies that don't rot, faces scratched in paint, whispers of gangs, spirits, and lone psychos. The skeptics call it chance, but those patterns, they stick, they itch, they don't let go. We've peeled back the dark, and it's still staring back at us, unblinking. Now it's your turn, dwellers. I want to hear what you think. Send us your thoughts. Join our Discord, the Tavern Dwellers. We've got 2,400 members strong, waiting to chew this over. We have an area where we discuss podcast episodes, and I would love to hear from you. Do you have a personal encounter from something that goes bump in the night, or possibly true crime? Go down to our forum where you can submit your own personal encounter. Did you see something by the water that didn't sit right? Or hit up our shiny new website, taverndwellers.com, and fill out the form there. Seen a smiley face near a river, a lake, anywhere damp and quiet, or did you see something else? Maybe a Sasquatch? Tell us. Spill it all. We want to know every little detail. And if you want more from me, Perzival, I've got gaming content and live streams brewing. Links all on the site and in the show notes. Dive in and let's keep this rolling. Before we close, I've got to say it. Thank you, Dwellers. You tune in every week. You keep this fire alive, and this show wouldn't be where it is without you. You're the heartbeat of what dwells beneath. The ones who make the shadows worth exploring. And a big shout out to Neku, our producer, for stitching this thing together. Every drip, every hum, every chill, that's his magic. We're a team, and you're with us every step down this murky path. One last thing. Picture this. You're alone, standing by a river at dusk. The water's black as oil, lapping at the shore. And there's that smiley face. Fresh, wet, glowing faintly on a tree. You hear it. A splash. Too close, too deliberate. Something moves under the surface and you swear it's looking up. This isn't done, Dwellers. The Smiley Face Killers, whatever they are, they're out there, and what dwells beneath isn't just a question. It's a warning, waiting to drag us down. Stay sharp, stay curious, and I'll catch you next time. Same shadows, new secrets.